remember the driver, the FedEx driver who was shot at by the copycats of who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Remember that? It was a father-son duo. They tried to kill this guy, tried to corner him, chased him, okay? Well, FedEx wants him to drive on the same route. And he's saying, wait a minute. No, I'm willing to work, just give me another route. Okay, the young black driver, his name is Montario Gibson, who was shot at and pursued by two white men, has now hired a lawyer. Why? Because the supervisors at FedEx refused to change his route. It's almost like they want the guy to die, okay? They refuse to change his route. How hard does it have to be to change somebody's route after they were shot at and the truck was shot up? He could be dead. He should be employee of the freaking year. But instead, they want him to go down the same route, to take up the same route that almost got him killed and do deliveries, all right? Let me take you to the video, here it is.
Again, my name is Rodney Diggs of Ivy McNeil Wide Purcell and Diggs. We're the largest black-owned law firm in the nation. And once we heard about this, the Cochran firm was gracious enough to absolutely bring us on to assist with this matter. Now, I echo the sentiments of what Mr. Moore and what Mr. Bryan said, but in addition to that, we want to give a warning to FedEx because they're not out of this at all. What's interesting is after Mr. Gibson made these complaints to his supervisor, multiple supervisors, they didn't show any concern. In fact, what they wanted Mr. Gibson to do was complete his route. Complete his route after he just almost lost his life. You have bullet fragments in the truck and in the car. Clearly, someone that young that has dealt with this sort of shooting as it happened in the Ahmaud Arbery style is suffering from stress and for sure PTSD. You shouldn't require a young black male who just experienced racism at its highest height in the 2022 to continue to do work.
Yeah, FedEx is creating a hostile work environment for this young worker, seems to be intentionally so. Let's put up a picture of the entire legal team with Mr. Montario Gibson, okay? He's a young man. He's a young man who was shot at and almost murdered. Keep that picture up. It was February 1st when Brandon Case, 35, and Gregory Case, 57, put up their mugshots. They turned themselves in to the Brookhaven police. The pair were bailed out on a $150,000 and $75,000 bond, respectively, a day later. Both of these would-be killers have entered a not guilty plea, according to the municipal court of Brookhaven. Gibson's legal team is calling for a federal hate crimes probe of the incident, as well as drawing attention to the supervisor's lack of compassion for their worker. Only 7 months on the job, Mr. Gibson, the victim here, said the incident has left him traumatized. Despite his anxiety, the branch allegedly has not been sensitive to the impact the event had on him. So much so, FedEx has not changed his delivery route. Though the company did offer to pay for his therapy. I mean, Mr. Gibson, I know you were just in a bad situation and somebody just tried to murder you. But young man, we are willing to pay for your therapy if you will continue to go down the same route that almost got you murdered. It's ridiculous, right? It's insane. As a result, Gibson has not returned to work and is currently on unpaid time off. After the incident became public, according to Gibson, FedEx offered him paid leave. His lawyers argue that this is a double offense to their client. Now, I want to remind you of an irony here, contrasted, right? Cop kills an unarmed black man, cop gets paid leave. Unarmed black man doing his regular job almost gets killed by two random white people. He gets unpaid leave. FedEx's senior communications specialist, Joseph Minor, says that as a corporation, they are standing with Gibson during this time, as well as cooperating with law enforcement, saying that as a company, they take situations of this nature very seriously, and we are shocked by this criminal act against our team member, DeMontario Gibson. The safety of our team members is our top priority, and we remain focused on his well-being. Sit your lying ass down. Take several seats. Communications director, FedEx, and anybody who talks like you. If you all had done the right thing by this young brother, there would be no lawsuit. There would be no press conference. There would be no fanfare. You had an opportunity here, FedEx. You had an opportunity to do the right thing and be on the right side of humanity. It's not even about one individual. It's about you being decent. It's about you being appropriate. Adrienne, you have a lot of experience in this arena. How is FedEx getting away with creating or attempting to create a hostile work environment for this young man and there not be significant pushback from the HR directors at FedEx?
Basically, the system is structured in such a way that, hey, FedEx really isn't incentivized to do anything about this because they treat people, not just FedEx, but most companies, as though they are replaceable. They do not necessarily care about your safety or your well-being, but what they do care about is the bad press and PR. So now that this became public and other people are aware that FedEx essentially told this man that they did not care about his well-being, now FedEx is saying that it does care, and now it's going to try to do something about it. But the reality is that these companies don't care about you. They simply don't. And the ones who do will do right. They'll avoid the losses and they will actually maybe have less turnover and more employees who are content with their jobs and produce better work and provide greater services. But until then, you essentially have these companies out here who act like FedEx and they essentially mess around and they find out.
Yeah, and that's what's about to happen, right? You got the largest black law firm, black-owned law firm in America on top of the case. You got the Cochran firm on top of the case. You have many civil rights leaders who are now starting to get on top of the case. What can a person do in a situation like this where your employer is creating a significant risk to your life and obviously a hostile work environment? What should be done?
Oh gosh, it's funny. I wrote an entire book on this. The fact is you need to document. The largest chapter in my book is called Receipts and keeping them because it is so incredibly important because you know what's gonna happen is the employer is gonna spin the story. The employer is gonna say, no, we didn't say that. And if you don't have it documented, you don't have anything to back it up, it's your word versus theirs. And I assure you that they are going to have more people come against you. So what you want to do is make sure that they can't come back and say something didn't happen, that they can't come back and say they didn't know, that you have an airtight explanation and that you're ready to go. And so then they're gonna have to stand up and they're gonna have to admit to what they did and they're gonna be more likely to get right out of fear that it will get out what they did.
Very well said. Thank you for that information.